back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown. It's once again game day, and the Edmonton Oilers are getting set to take on the Anaheim Ducks tonight at 8:30 in Anaheim. Love these 8:30 starts. Gets us ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs, though. As we know, the Edmonton Oilers, at least through the first two rounds, get pretty much exclusively 8 p.m. or later starts. So, like I said, a little playoff prep to get us ready for the coming playoffs in a couple weeks' time. Speaking of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers can officially clinch a playoff spot tonight if they defeat the Anaheim Ducks in any fashion, regulation, or overtime, and the Calgary Flames lose to the San Jose Sharks in regulation. Hopefully they can just get that done so we can stop talking about that. We pretty much know at this point the Edmonton Oilers are likely to finish in third place in the Pacific Division, probably taking on the LA Kings once again in round one, but if LA can catch up to Vegas, we may see it switch there, but most likely it's going to be Oilers-Kings round one, and the Oilers at this point are likely to finish in third place. We received these updates earlier today from Oilers insider Tony Brouwer. Leon Draisaitl will not play versus the Anaheim Ducks tonight. The Oilers will be going with a lineup of 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. Trent Frederic is out. His ankle flared up in his first shift last game. An immediate return is not going to happen, says head coach Chris Knobloch. And Olivier Rodrigue will officially make his very first NHL start. Up until this point, he has only played a single period in the National Hockey League, so really excited for Olivier Rodrigue. Another note on Trent Frederic, though, he won't be returning immediately, but he will be back before the Stanley Cup playoffs. Head coach Chris Knobloch did confirm that today, so he's not coming back immediately, but it is not super long-term for Trent Frederic either. At this point, we are still expecting the Edmonton Oilers to be fully healthy, even probably getting back Evander Kane fairly soon once the Stanley Cup playoffs kick off here. So it's a game that the Edmonton Oilers will have to play short. It sucks, especially with Olivier Rodrigue getting his very first NHL start. You hate to see them starting behind the 8 ball like that, but it is what it is, so it's just one game. The Oilers are expected to get Connor McDavid back on Wednesday against the St. Louis Blues, although nothing official on that. If he's not back on Wednesday, he should be back on Friday, but I'm hoping both Connor McDavid and possibly Leon Draisaitl both back on Wednesday. Leon Draisaitl was skating at practice today, so I think he is very close to returning as well, but I'm sure the Edmonton Oilers will be very cautious as they've been up until this point. You can say maybe they should have waited a little bit longer on Trent Frederic, considering how quickly he was injured, but I guess you're just not certain until there is game action, and Trent Frederic getting pretty much hurt on his very first shift there, so doesn't look good. I just hope Trent Frederic doesn't turn into another Andreas Athanasiou situation where he barely ends up playing for the Edmonton Oilers and leaves as a free agent this summer. I'm hoping the Edmonton Oilers can see what he can do and hopefully work out a new contract, at least for next season. So the Edmonton Oilers gave up a decent amount for him, and just like I said, I want to see Trent Frederic in action here. I thought he looked pretty good for what we saw of him last game against the Kings, but obviously haven't had a really good look at him. And as I mentioned last video, I really want to see Connor McDavid and Trent Frederic put together and see what those two can do. As far as the lineup goes for tonight, we're expecting a top line of Podkolzin, Nuge, and Arvidsson, a second line of Hyman, Henrique, and Perry, a third line of Skinner, Janmark, and Brown, Kapanen and Jones playing as the 10th and 11th forward, and on defense, Nurse and Wallman, Kulak and Bouchard, Stetcher and Emberson, and Olivier Rodrigue getting his very first NHL start. And speaking of getting your first start, Heavy Hockey's Eric Friesen pointing out Oilers prospect Nathaniel Day, who signed an entry-level contract with the Oilers on the weekend, turned aside all 24 shots he faced in a 7-0 win for the Fort Wayne Komets yesterday. Day recorded his very first career ECHL shutout and his very first career ECHL game playing for the Oilers' ECHL affiliate, the Fort Wayne Komets. So congratulations to Nathaniel Day. Great to see him picking up a shutout in his very first professional game for the Edmonton Oilers organization. So I think that's all I have for now, guys. I will see you following the game for the Fanatic rundown, hopefully talking about Olivier Rodrigue picking up his very first NHL win and the Edmonton Oilers finding a way, playing with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. Let me know your thoughts on Nathaniel Day picking up his first shutout, the latest on the Oilers' injury situation. Do you think they find a way to pick up the win? Olivier Rodrigue gets his very first NHL win. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.